Hello guys, welcome back. So now in this session, we'll start the topic called tax on sales purchase. Now, so if you talk about tax on sales purchase, guys, look at here. This is now look at here. Okay, so tax on sales purchase. This is the configuration of indirect tax, right? Now here most of the people are confused, right? Previously we have done configuration for withholding tax. That is your direct tax, right? Now this is tax on sales purchase. This is the configuration of indirect tax. Guys, indirect tax could be anything. Here in India it is GST. In some other companies, other countries, VAT is there, right? So what we have to learn here, whether it is GST, VAT or any other indirect taxes, right? Here we need to know the logic behind whatever the configuration steps are there, right? Because let's suppose if you're going to be part of any MNC project, then there is no guarantee that you guys are going to get GST related configurations. It could be VAT, it could be any other taxes also, right? So we need to understand whatever the configuration steps are there. So what is the logic? What kind of controls are there, right? And if you guys are able to understand, then no matter whether it is GST, whether it is VAT, whatever it is, easily you guys can set up. Okay. So now tax on sales purchase, guys, look at your previous indirect tax regime was quite complex. If you talk about India, then of course, look at here, guys, multiple taxes were there. We had like central and state government, they used to levy a large number of taxes. What are those taxes, guys? We have like central excise duty was there, service tax was there, VAT was there, purchase tax, CST, that is called central sales tax, entry tax. Even like at local body, in the sense like in cities, like lots of what is called this municipality something is there, right? So at municipality municipality something is there, guys. So at that level also, small taxes were being collected, right? So that is called local body tax, octroi, luxury tax. Multiple taxes were there. Now what is happening? Each of these is an independent tax, and this create a lots of complexities and difficulties for the taxpayer. Several taxes were there, right? It was a bundle of taxes, isn't it? So to simplify this tax regime, a unified tax was introduced. Okay, no tax for central, no tax for state. It's like unified tax, that is for GST, goods and service tax. Okay, now so GST was implemented across India, and it's not like the GST is there in India itself, guys. Even multiple other countries are also using this GST, right? So GST and VAT, these are the two which is almost like prevalent everywhere across the globe, right? Now, GST is levied on both supply of goods and services. Okay, look at here, guys. Now, so GST is going to be segregated. You all might be knowing this, right? It is segregated in two parts. Okay, that is okay. Based on what, guys? Based on the goods movement, right? Look at here, intrastate movement and interstate movement. Now, there is no changes in tax percentage. Tax percentage will be same. The only thing is, like, let's suppose if purchaser or seller belongs to a different state, like let's suppose seller belongs to a different state, purchaser belongs to a different state. In that case, GST is applicable Let's suppose GST, right? So which GST is going to be applicable if in case of interstate? Interstate, in that case, IGST. Let's suppose 5% or 12%, whatever it is. Say for example 12%. If both belongs to same state, then what is happening, guys? This is called intrastate movement, and here the same 12% is going to be segregated into part CGST and SGST. So here also taxpayer is going to pay 12% only, but 6% in the form of CGST, 6% in the form of SGST. Multiple blogs are available on Google, guys. You can check it. Okay. The reason behind explaining this, because whatever the configurations are going to be done, right? So configurations we have to okay. So whatever the tax are going to be posted, guys, the client will say that IGST, okay, integrated GST it is called, right? CGST is central GST and SGST is state GST, right? So now this whatever IGST related transactions are there, that's supposed to be posted against a different ledger, different GL, right? CGST should be posted to a different GL, SGST is supposed to be posted into a different GL, right? So now we'll see how it is happening. Okay. So intra-state movement means within state, we are having CGST, SGST. Interstate movement means from one state to other state, IGST, right? Now look at here the percentage, guys. We are having 4%. 5%, 0% means that is called like tax exempted items and also 0%. Once I start asset accounting, guys, we have to set up the 0% tax code. Nothing to be very good. Now, so we have overall 5%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. Look at here, guys. Whether it is GST, guys, or VAT, whatever it is, irrespective of this, I'm saying. Okay. Now you look at here. How many percentage? Only 4. Okay. Now, if we talk about the tax calculation, so the taxes are going to be calculated, right, with the help of tax code, right? 4 tax percentages are there, guys, right? So, in a simplest way, we can say how many tax codes are going to be created. So, we can create 4 tax codes, but once we start the configurations, once you guys look at the scenario, then you will come to know that how many tax codes are going to be created. Right? Several tax codes are going to be created one by one, one by one. The things will be, what is happening, like conditions will be getting added here. Conditions are going to be added, and as per that, the number of tax codes will be increased. Okay. So right now, 4 tax percentages are there. So 4 tax code, right? You see here how many tax codes are going to be created. Okay, so these are the fixed tax percentage, guys. 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%, right? Now, we'll talk about the configuration part. So first of all, look at here, guys. This is what the configurations for tax on sales purchase, which is going to be started from where? Okay, defining the condition type. Okay, now what is happening, guys? I'll tell you one thing. we have, let's suppose, invoice amount of 1000. This is here invoice amount. Okay. Now, say for example, okay. So now at this, okay. So this amount, right? At this amount, what is happening, guys? The tax is going to be calculated. This tax could be either IGST or CGST plus SGST. Okay. So now, this is the one thing. Now, what is happening, guys? Let's suppose, okay, there are certain cases, guys. There are certain cases per time to time. What happened, guys? Let's suppose all of a sudden certain natural calamity, came, right? Any hurricane, flood, or anything, right? A huge landslide or something. So sometime in order to collect certain fund, what is happening, guys? The government is, always, not always, but they levy certain, what to say, surcharges. Okay, that is called, not surcharge, it is called cess. Okay, they are going to apply certain additional tax. Okay, so let's suppose cess is there. How this calculation is going to happen, guys? Now, so first of all, what is happening? If we talk about IGST, IGST is going to be calculated on this amount. CGST plus SGST is going to be calculated on this amount. But cess is going to be calculated on either this amount or this plus this, CGST plus SGST, right? So what is happening, guys? For these two, the base amount is this one. For these two, base amount is this one. But for cess, the base amount is this one, right? So what is happening here? So these all are going to be created as a, look at here, condition type. So now what is happening? These all are going to be set up as a different conditions. Okay, this is one, going to set up one condition type. For this one also, we are going to set up one condition type. So what is the use of this condition type, guys? Okay, so with the help of condition type, what is happening, guys? With the help of condition type, okay, now how the tax is going to be calculated? So for that, we have to create a tax procedure. First of all, we have to create a tax procedure. What is this tax procedure, guys? So this is the combination of this condition type and humor things. Even like tax key is also going to be created, right? What is the use of this condition type in the tax procedure? So this condition type is going to decide that IGST will be calculated on which amount, base amount, right? IGST will be calculated on which amount. CGST will be calculated on which amount. SGST will be calculated on which amount. Cess will be calculated on which amount. How SAP will come to know? I think right now it is a bit difficult to visualize whatever I am explaining, but don't worry, I'll show you practically. So what we have to do, we have to create the condition type. Okay. Okay. So now I'll show you practically. Don't worry. Now I'll just do one thing. So the question is, how many condition types are going to be set up? Okay. Multiple condition types are going to be set up based on the requirement. How you will come to know the requirements and all that also. One by one, I'll be adding the conditions and all. I'll first of all let me simplify the things. Okay. Now, first of all, what is happening, guys? Okay. So this is here GST. Okay. GST, VAT, whatever it is. Okay. Now look at here. So whatever the indirect taxes are there, that is going to be divided into two parts. What are those two parts, guys? Tell me. Anyone? Nowadays there is no responses from you people, guys.
GST is one, indirect taxes and customs duties is another one.
No, not
Is
that.
that right, sir?
No, not that. Whatever indirect taxes are there, that is going to be divided into two parts. Now, what are those?
GST is one. Okay, in GST. Okay.
That is called input tax and output tax. Okay. No, that Hardik is saying intrastate, intrastate. That I have already explained. I'm not talking in terms of GST. Yeah, say, for example, we talk about different country. Their GST is not there. VAT is there, right? So the thing is, two things are there. So whatever indirect taxes are there, it is going to be divided into two parts. That is called input tax and output tax. If it is VAT, then VAT input and VAT output. If it is GST, then GST input and GST output. Okay. So right here, what is happening? This input. Input means input taxes are going to be applicable. What is the difference between input and output, guys? Somebody just tell me. Anyone is having any idea? Okay. See, I'll tell you one thing. In order to become a finance consultant, it's not like that someone should be a very much expert of finance and accounting concepts, or someone should be the expert of tax or something, right? I know the basic concepts only, guys. I'm not the expert of tax or depreciations or anything and all, right? My background is not from finance and account, right? So at least some basic knowledge must be there, and if it's like whether you are from finance and account background or not doesn't matter, right? It's not too much hard and fast to understand what is the difference between input and output. Okay, so GST is what? It's a tax, right? It's indirect tax. Whatever indirect taxes are there, guys, that is going to be divided into two parts based on the nature in the sense like based on what, guys? Based on the taxes are going to be paid, right? Or taxes are going to be received. In the sense, see, if you talk about vendor, right? So GST vendor is going to send invoice to Tata Motor, right? Momita is saying that input is VAT. No, this is not the correct answer. Input is VAT. No, VAT is indirect tax, right? And input is a part of indirect, right? One leg, we can say, one leg of input. Sorry, indirect tax is input. Another leg is out. Okay. Now here. Okay. So this input tax is going to be, so whatever the GST, like whatever invoices are being received from uh, vendor side, right? On those invoices, the amount is going to be paid, in the sense GST is going to be paid to the vendor. Okay, so that is called GST input. And whatever GST is going to be, like whatever invoices are going to be sent to the customer, so customer will pay us invoice amount along with the taxes, right? So that is called output GST. The GST which is being paid to the vendor is your input, and GST which is being received from customer is your output, right? Or else in terms of VAT also same thing. The VAT which is being paid to the vendor is input, and the VAT which is received from customer is output. Okay. So now whatever, see, generally what happened guys, if you talk about the taxes now, so let's suppose now here input, or let's suppose whatever input or output, input, and then variable. Simple logic is there. Let's suppose we have received 120 rupees or 100 rupees from customer, and Tata Motor has already paid GST 80 rupees to the vendor. So whether we are receiving from customer or we are paying to the vendor, right? So it's not like the vendor is going to keep this amount in their pocket, guys. They must have to deposit that amount to the whatever the authority in the tax department, right? And whatever we have received also, that also supposed to be submitted. That is also going to be deposited. That is also going to be paid, right? So output in the form of output means from customer we have received 100, and to vendor we have already paid 80, right? So output minus input, whatever this surplus is there, that is going to be our GST payable. A simple, very simple. In that, multiple things will be there, guys. How it is going to be offset, like IGST is going to offset with IGST or CGST. Multiple, what is it, things will be there, conditions will be there. But in simplest way, I'm saying that whatever output we have collected from customer, right, and whatever input we have paid to the vendor, output minus input, whatever the surplus amount is there, that is going to be your payable. Okay. Now, so input tax is treated as asset and output is our liability. In accounting funda, whatever input we have paid to the vendor, guys, this is your assets. Why? Because whatever we have paid, we have nothing to be worry about, because that much we are going to claim, right? We are going to claim in the sense like whatever output we are having, right? From there you can settle down this input, right? And whatever output we have received from customer, that is supposed to be deposited to the tax department. So of course, after offsetting this amount, whatever surplus is there is going to be okay. So now here we are having GST input and GST output. Okay. First of all, what we have to do, guys. So we'll do one thing. Okay. So now we have to create what? We have to create the condition type, right? So how many condition types are going to be created, right? So first of all, for input and output, right? Different condition types are going to be set up. So here just type condition type. Okay. So condition type we are going to, this is for input, and again for output also. Okay. So for input, how many condition type, and for output, how many condition type, right? For every For IGST separate, CGST separate, and SGST separate condition types are going to be defined. You can see, guys, once I create a tax procedure, then we are going to consolidate everything. I think at that point of time, you guys will be having understanding. Okay. Condition type is having certain control, right? But most likely, if you talk about the condition type, it is broadly, it is going to be used by SD and MM people. Okay. From a FI side, what is happening? SAP, for us, SAP has already delivered standard condition type for input. I think it is like MWVS, and for output I think it is MWAS. Let me check it here. Yes, MWVS and MWAS. Now it's getting hang. Just wait for a second. Okay, now this is GST. Better to keep it here. Okay, so condition type. Now here, let's suppose IN01, IN02, IN03. This is what CGST, SGST, CGST, SGST, IGST, right? So make it input, right? IN, CG, SG, IG. This is the bit, right? Input, CGST, SGST, and IGST, right? And then the condition type we are going to create. And for output, again OT, CG, OT, SG, and OT, IG. So right now we are going to create 6 condition type. Okay, we'll add some more condition type later once I add the scenario. Okay, so now here, let me log in first. Okay, here we are having, right? Okay, guys, so now will be Q1 or Q3. Okay, Q1. So here MW base for input, right? Look at it, it is there. So just copy. Simply we are going to copy. Even we can use this one also, but you just copy. And first we are having this is right. So let me check whether it is created by someone. No, it is not created. Okay. So here you can give C CGST input tax. Just copy this one and IGST, right? So no SGST. Then here also you have to give SGST, press enter and copy this one and you make it C GST, SGST, IGST, right? IGST and press enter. Okay. So guys, if you talk about the condition type, as I said, like at broader level, it is going to be used in SD and MM, right? For us, during taxes only, we are going to use, and that too. A reference is already given by SAP that always we use MW, we use MWAS. Now here, just save it first. So these are the three condition type which we have created, right? Now we have MWAS for output. Copy this one. And we have OTCG, right? And here series GST output text. Press enter. Copy and make it as GST output text. IGST output text, right? CGST, SGST, CS and I. Okay, let's save it. So what we have done, we have created three different condition type. What is the use of this condition type, guys? In terms of tax calculations, right? In terms of tax calculation, guys, there is a use of this condition type. Okay, whether the tax is going to be calculated on base amount or tax amount, right? And even as I said, like some more conditions I'm going to add. So you guys will be having a very perfect understanding about this, don't worry. So this play a very crucial role in the tax procedure. Okay, now, so what we have done, we have created 3 plus 3, 6 condition types, right? What next? The next one is create transaction key. Okay, what is the use of this transaction key, guys? It is also called account key. Whether you say account key or transaction key, both are same. Okay. So guys, generally what happens when we are going to post any like transaction, okay, whether it is uh, direct tax is there or indirect tax is there, right? In both cases, what is happening, guys? Simply, you have to put the invoice amount, everything is going to be given, right? And you have to select a particular tax code, okay? Appropriate tax code is going to be selected by the user. And now what is happening, guys? So that particular, like let's suppose we are having 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. So we are having, let's suppose, 4 tax codes. If somebody has selected 12% tax code, so what is happening, guys? 12% GST is going to be deducted, calculated by system automatically. Okay. So whatever this tax amount is getting calculated, guys, it must be posted somewhere. So a particular it is going to be posted against a particular GL account, right? What about those GL account, guys? How system is going to bring the GL account? So guys, when you post any tax related transactions, and also in that case, manually GL account is not going to be given. System automatically determine the GL account, right? And how automatic determination of GL account happen, guys? Whenever we talk about automatic GL account determinations, we have already seen in cash journal, right? Automatic GL account determination was there. How? Because somewhere you guys have assigned the GL account under indirect taxes, right? Somewhere you guys have assigned the GL account, right? If you talk about terms of payment, there we have seen like discount related things. So when like let's suppose we are eligible for discount, then discount GL is going to be determined by system automatically, right? So what is happening, guys? The discount related GL we have assigned somewhere, right? So from there system is going to determine. Likewise, here for taxes, what is happening, guys? The tax related GL is there, that is going to be determined by system. Okay, whether it is 10%, 5%, sorry, 5%, 12%, 18%, whatever it is, that is going to be determined by system automatically, right? So the question is where to assign the GL account. So those GL accounts are going to be assigned against transaction key or so-called account key. It is going to be assigned against transaction key, or it is also called account key. If we talk about account key, okay, so it is having only 3-digit code. Account key will be having 3-digit code, guys. So I've kept this one, INC, INS, INI. Now, so account key also, either you can create a new one, or else for this one also we are having reference, that is VST and MWS. VST and MWS. VST use transaction code. What is the transaction code, guys? OBCN. Yes, OBCN. I'll have to log in again. Account key is also having certain control. Okay. Account key is also having certain control. What kind of control is there? That also I'll explain you. There will be certain scenario will come into picture. There I'll explain. Use transaction code OBCN. Use anyone. MWS. This is for output. And VSD for input. Copy. And I have created a code here for output, right? So OTC, OTS. This is OTC, GST, output. Press enter. Okay. In detail again, it will come into picture, guys. Don't worry. Right now, just create it. Okay. OTC. CGST, SGST, right? So make it SGST. And then I make it IDST. Second. Now, then we are having VST. Okay. INC, INS, INI, right? Saved. So what we have done, guys, we have created. Okay. So the question is, okay, what is the use of this account key, guys? So account key means it is going to be used for GL account assignment. It means when we post any transactions, tax related transactions and all, right? So This account key is responsible to determine the GL account, guys, because GL accounts are going to be assigned against this account key only. Now the question is, how many GL accounts can be created, right? So look at here, guys. We have already created 6 condition type. 6 condition type means always, guys, whenever the transactions are going to be posted, the client will say that CGST, SGST, IGST. Whatever amounts are there, it's supposed to be posted to a separate GL, right? And not only CGST, SGST, IGST, even at input and output level also segregation is required. Input CGST in a separate GL, output CGST in a separate GL. So what is happening, guys? We have created this much condition type, and in the same proportion, what we have done, guys, in the same proportionate we have created this what do you say, account key also. Okay, it means total 6 transaction key or account key we have created. So how many GL accounts are going to be set up, guys? Of course, 6 GL accounts are going to be created right now, right? So later what is happening, guys? As per the conditions, we will add another GL accounts also, and we'll add another condition type also, guys, right? And the more what to say condition types are going to be added, the more GL accounts are going to be created, the more number of tax codes are also going to be created. Now look at here, guys. If you talk about the tax code, right? So right now what is happening? First of all, this GST we have segregated in 2 parts, input and output, right? So now what is happening, guys? Okay, for 5%, then 12%, 18%, and 28%. Total 4 for input, and even 4 for output also, right? 4 for input and 4 for output, right? But now what is happening, guys? In input, again, these 4 for IGST, and again, vertical basicity. So guys, GST plus SGST. Again, this much is going to be created for input. Okay. So if you talk about input tax, right? So if input tax itself is getting calculated, 5%, either it could be IGST, or 5%, either it could be CGST plus SGST. Likewise, 12%, it could be IGST, or 12% it could be CGST plus SGST. Right? The same thing is applicable in case of output also, guys. Right? In case of output also, same thing is there. So look at here how many tax codes. Right now, 8 tax codes are there, right? Okay. Multiple tax codes are going to be, okay, once we'll add the condition, then you guys will complete, right? So these many tax code, right? And even one by one conditions are going to be added. Okay. So when you post this IGST, 5%, 12%, 18%, or 28%. Percentage wise, different GLs are not going to hit, guys, because whether it is 5%, 12%, 18%, different amounts are getting calculated. But if you talk about the tax, it is IGST only, and that too IGST input. So it is going to be posted in a GL. Now this 5%, what is happening, guys? This 5% is combination of two tax, CGST plus SGST, right? So 2.5% belongs to CGST and 2.5% belongs to SGST. So 2.5% supposed to be posted to a different GL account, and again 2.5% supposed to be posted to a different GL account. In the sense, CGST and SGST supposed to be posted to a different GL account, right? So I think bit confusion will be there. Don't worry. So in next session, what is happening, guys? We'll set up the GL account, and even some more steps are still remain. That also I have to explain. So one by one, we'll explain those things, and we'll set up the GL account. We'll create the tax procedure. We'll post the transactions. Then one by one, we'll explain the conditions in the sense scenarios. So that's all in this session, guys. That's all for today.